The United States, the most powerful country in the world, the center of dreams and a high standard of living, the planet's greatest economic and military force. In a way, the wealthy watchdog of the globe. For 10 days, the wealthiest region of America, the hub of technology, has been burning. Yet no one seems to ask, why is it burning and why can't they extinguish it? Why can't the world's most advanced country stop this fire? Could we have overestimated America? Or, to put it bluntly, could America be a paper tiger? We will explore the wildfire using data gathered from reliable sources. What is this fire? How did it start? Why hasn't it been extinguished? We'll address these questions in our own style. You might wonder, as a science channel, why are we covering this topic? But this wildfire is deeply rooted in the very heart of science. Understanding it and learning lessons from it is crucial for predicting the challenges of the next century. How did this fire start? While there are dozens of theories, the truth about how this wildfire began remains unknown. We could suggest that an unscrupulous developer hired 3 homeless individuals to burn the forest to pave the way for new projects, or that an irresponsible individual tossed a lit cigarette out of a car window, sparking the flames. But the reality is far worse than these possibilities. There are also unanswered questions about how the fire spread so quickly. For instance, has the local firefighting budget been reduced despite the increasing fire risk that has even led insurance companies to stop insuring homes in the area? Are the water systems connected to fire hydrants in neighborhoods running dry? And is this due to a governor's decision to divert water from reservoirs to protect a certain fish species? Or have the overgrown brush areas between houses been left uncleared for the past 2 years? While none of these questions have been definitively answered, we believe the possibility of these claims being true is far from unlikely. Additionally, there is no conclusive information to explain why these fires ignited simultaneously in 3 different locations. In reality, the outbreak of a wildfire is not unexpected. What is unexpected, however, is that the world's superpower, the United States, is unable to extinguish it. As January 2025 arrived, sitting on the wooden veranda of your oceanfront home in Malibu, sipping your morning coffee, a tweet about an extreme fire warning for much of Los Angeles County due to high winds would have meant nothing to you. However, as you scrolled through your phone, the dry, gusty wind disrupted your peace, forcing you to move to the sheltered part of your veranda. You might have even felt a moment of satisfaction, recalling how cheaply you had added that extra wooden wall to protect against the increasingly frequent Santa Ana winds that had only lasted 3 days during your childhood but had grown stronger in recent years. After all, wasn't there an AI-powered wildfire prediction team working to prevent such disasters? Surely, extinguishing a fire wouldn't fall on your shoulders. Even the unusual lack of rain during California's rainy season, from October to January, didn't bother you. Your $1 million home had a massive water tank installed thanks to your foresight architect. By late afternoon, the smell of char would begin to waft through the air, but it didn't concern you. After all, the region was covered with dense, dry chaparral, and it was natural for some of it to catch fire. The strong winds would inevitably carry the smoky scent to the coastline. Besides, how could a brush fire burning somewhere inland possibly threaten the most expensive neighborhoods in America? There were firefighters, local governments, and systems in place to handle such situations. You assumed it would be extinguished as it always had been before. But as the smoky smell intensified, you glanced at Twitter again. 2 major forest fires were trending, both requiring national-level support. Even then, you brushed it off. If the fire came closer, which seemed impossible, your home was insured. At worst, you could retreat to your pool and wait out the flames. After all, wasn't that what living in America's wealthiest region was all about? This fire, which ignited simultaneously at 3 separate points, initially started in forested areas. However, in this region where homes are built dangerously close to the woods, the flames soon spread to residential areas. The trees were extremely dry, the humidity was remarkably low, and the winds were unimaginably strong. Even the smallest spark was enough to set this bone-dry environment ablaze. To our surprise, as with many regions in the U.S., the homes here were primarily constructed from compressed wood, a cheaper material. Since the houses are single-story, they typically do not require reinforced concrete columns. Most of the burning homes were wood-based structures. When strong winds, low humidity, and dry would combine, the only thing that can prevent these homes from burning rapidly is an immediate firefighting response. However, with the fire affecting a total area of 140 square kilometers, wind speed changes everything. The sheer scale and speed of the fire spread are among the most critical reasons it hasn't been extinguished. The fire's simultaneous ignition at 3 locations appears to have weakened the response capability of the firefighting teams. Dividing their efforts into 3 fronts significantly reduced their effectiveness. Furthermore, in the critical early moments, firefighting planes couldn't operate due to high winds, adding another layer of difficulty. The aircraft could only join the fight much later, but by then, the fire had spread so widely that battling it in low humidity and high wind conditions became nearly impossible. According to the elected President of the United States, the inability to extinguish this fire is due to an inadequate water system. That's it. A simple explanation. There's no need for deeper thought or preventative measures. But is that really the case? Reducing the issue to such a simplistic assessment aligns with today's common habits. However, the reality is far more complex. What has left the firefighting teams, who have successfully contained wildfires for years, suddenly helpless? As long as shallow political debates dominate the discourse, this helplessness is likely to persist. What could the relentless, extraordinarily fast, and unending winds in the fire zone be signaling? The firefighting infrastructure and risk management strategies in the area were designed for a climate with much more rainfall and far less frequent and less intense winds. As a result, no matter how many planes or fire trucks are available, fires of this speed and scale cannot be extinguished, even by the most advanced country in the world. There are far greater factors at play in this disaster. This catastrophe cannot be explained solely by a lack of institutional preparedness. In reality, these factors are far more closely tied to the existential challenges of a planet weakened by climate change. While we may avoid acknowledging it in the rush of daily life, the fundamental systems of the Earth are being disrupted by an atmosphere choked with greenhouse gases. Fixing this situation requires much more than political debates. The first step in addressing this issue is understanding, and more importantly, accepting science. Only then can we implement the policies and protocols necessary to reduce the likelihood of such crises and, when they inevitably occur, minimize the resulting loss of life and destruction. According to a new report released on January 10th by the European Space Agency's climate change team, while Los Angeles was still burning, 2024 became the first year in which global average temperatures exceeded pre-industrial levels by 1.6 degrees Celsius or 2.88 degrees Fahrenheit. This figure surpasses the 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold set in the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement. Let's return to the question posed at the beginning of this video. Is America a paper tiger? In the context of a changing climate, so are China and the European Union. All current risk management policies are designed for an old climate system and are incapable of addressing the natural disasters brought about by a changing climate. Now, we leave you with the global carbon emissions rankings. It doesn't take a prophet to predict that future generations will face significant challenges. Until we meet again in better videos, take care.